I've been posting a lot of stuff on my YouTube community page, and if you've seen, I've been posting a lot of Smash Bros mod images, and as well as other stuff such as me like playing Sonic Adventure 2 on the Switch, me playing Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story on the Switch, Sonic Rivals, or Sonic Battle. Well, and I've been getting a lot of comments on those, and people wanted to know, and in this video, I'm gonna tell you. Now, as for some background, remember that video I uploaded 8 months ago of the first CPU modded Smash Bros tournament? Well, after that, I was actually gonna record the new one, but that's when it happened. When trying to put in new mods, we kept taking out the SD card, which is what you're not supposed to do, and I did that so many times, which is how I got the mods in. But as I was gonna do the second one, it gave an error. Apparently, since we kept switching out the SD card so many times, the SD card reader broke in the Switch. Which meant, one, we couldn't use any of the data that was left over on that Switch from previous games that were on that SD card, but also couldn't access the mods. This happened back in March, 11 months ago. To fix it, we would have to just get a new Switch entirely, so we waited months just so we could all have some money left over to afford the new Switch. And before I actually say, you're gonna need a first generation Switch. What do I mean by that? Well, like when the Nintendo Switch first launched, those few switches are the ones that are moddable. You can mod a Nintendo Switch OLED, but I'm not going over that because it's apparently a much harder process. Using a regular Switch is better, as long as it's not patched. Like, say for you're watching this and you have a first generation Switch, if you gave it any system updates, it will most likely not be able to be modded. That is where this video comes in, well, at least this website. I'm going to leave this in the description, but the website is called ismyswitchpatch.com, and to cut it, well, shortly, the serial number on the bottom of your Switch, you type that code in, and then green if your Switch can be modded, but red, it will not be able to be modded. Like I said, Nintendo Switch Lights, OLED, or a first generation Switch that's been patched won't be able to do it. So if you do that, comes a green, watch the rest of this video and you're good. Well, or the other videos, I'm gonna leave it in the description. But if it comes out red, you won't be able to mod your Switch. Now, if you are able to mod your Switch, the things you'll need is obviously your Switch. You're gonna need a Type-C port in order to transfer everything, a new micro SD card for your Switch, and you obviously gotta buy a new one. I'll leave the one that I got in the description because if something goes wrong, your data will be messed up on that SD card if you mod it, which is what we did, and I already told you all of that, and that's basically just a heads up just so you don't do it. And you're gonna need an RCM. What is an RCM? As you clearly see, this was the old Switch that died 11 months ago because the SD card reader stopped working, and this is the new Switch that I got last year when in the middle of December, because the SD card reader, you're not supposed to switch out the SD card so much. So this one, it's not dead. It's not broken. It just died because we never charged it. So this one's SD card reader doesn't work. This is the new one that I got that has a brand new SD card reader, and it works. And if you're gonna mod your Switch, you're gonna need a lot of storage in it for it to run all that stuff, and just so it can be good. So as you see that we got a brand new Switch just so we can run all of it. And as for the data, we have quite a lot since we got a new SD card. So if you're planning on modding, you're going to need this. This is an RCM jig or a rig or something. You can get this off of Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. And with this, it's basically like, I don't know, like scramble or something. You gotta put it into your Switch, and then it was like a whole process. I'll leave videos like that in the description. But it was like to be short, this is what you need for you to be able to mod your Switch. As for the previous step, if you can mod your Switch, which that video will be in the description, like I said before, you can get this and do the following steps as I put them in the description. And again, do not keep removing your SD card multiple times. That's why this one died in the first place, so we had to wait 11 months for this Switch to come. And you know, obviously, it being a new one, it was a big to transfer all the data from this to that. But at least it came with new Joy-Cons. These are the same ones. This was a pre-owned Switch, so this is a different one from that. And with the micro SD card, you're gonna need to format it through a computer, which is what we did. Also, I know I said that you shouldn't use your same SD card on your current Switch, but that's kind of what we did on our main Switch. Because for the main Switch I have now, we got a brand new SD card that has a lot of storage and mix it around with our current data, and now we can use our current data along with the mods. So you can do that if you want, just if you want, you don't have to. And like before, what I said with the RCM, it's the Switch's recovery mode, and you're gonna need to attach it on the left side, on the place where the left Joy-Con is, specifically on the bottom part of the Joy-Con where it's supposed to be. If you're gonna want a more brief and bigger explanation on how to do this, I'm gonna leave a video link in the description of a guy named Crowcal Games if you want to do Smash mods. And for Smash Bros, you're gonna need this program known as Acropolis, but I'll leave that video in the description if you want to just do Smash Bros mods. Now, if your Switch can be modded, as you already know, I posted a lot of games from other consoles that I can play on here. And if you're wondering how to get those, this section of the video is what you want to hear. Now, in order to get this on your Switch, you're going to need to install Homebrew, which I'll leave in the description. But if you already have Homebrew, or if your Switch is already modded, if you want to do any of this stuff, you gotta click Homebrew and then search up RetroArch into the Switch. It'll be the first thing that shows. When doing so, if you want to like have all your ROMs of the games neatly, you can just make a folder on your Switch. But here's footage of me showing you how to exactly get them to work. Hey guys, so as you clearly see, I have a theme on my Switch, which is a Smash Bros themed one. And as you see, to load up the game, I boot it up here. I just click any profile, and then you hold R on the button. Now, like I said before, you are going to need a modded Switch, but to load up a game, you click RetroArch, load core, choose any of these. I'm just gonna load up, for example, Dreamcast. Then load content, downloads, Dreamcast, Sonic Adventure 2, and then click the last one. Then this will show. As you know, it's like the same thing. Yep, presented by Sega, Sonic Team. And that's really it. As you see, as I load up.
Welcome to Child World! Let's do this! Let me show you my real power. I'll beat you! Do you think you can beat me? I am one with the Master Emerald. I will move to the likes of you. Knuckles. Emerald's power allows me to feel I can't see it.
And that's really the whole thing of playing the game. But now I'm going to display some other games that also work on here.
Bring it on!
Now, as you see, there are a lot of games I showed from the PlayStation Portable, the Dreamcast, and the Game Boy Advance of games you can play on the Switch. And for Superstar Saga, on the other hand, you won't have to pay $60 or something on the Nintendo Switch online, and you can just play it for free. Now, if you're aware of the Citra emulator, which is an emulator to play 3DS games, you can get that on the Switch, but as for the gameplay itself, so about that, in order to run games like DS games, which can't even run on the Switch, 3DS games, and GameCube games, as well as Wii games, you're going to need to overclock your Switch just so it can be at its best when running the games, meaning you can have a much better time of playing them and of the Switch running the games. But that may leave a chance to your Switch overheating, and I didn't do that because I don't want my Switch becoming a pipe bomb. I know that there are videos of people actually getting it to work, but as from what I heard, that it still does overheat. So if you do this, the Switch will be able to run those games, but it will overheat, or may overheat, which is why it's a choice if you want to do it or not. And going back to Smash Bros Ultimate, all the mods that I use are on Game Banana. So just type in Game Banana and go to the Smash Bros page of Game Banana mods, and then you'll find all the mods there. Though for Smash Bros mods, there are specific mods that don't work with each other. Like for example, the new Mecha Sonic mod that came out for, well, Ultimate obviously, it came out a couple of days ago. That is known as a Smash Line 1 mod, same as others. And if you go to this mod, which is Mario throwing Cappy, That's actually a Smash Bros. Line 2 mod, and if you want to play with them both, you gotta get one or the other because they both won't interact with each other or work. Or even the Waluigi moveset is a Smash Line 1 mod, and Silver the Hedgehog is a Smash Line 2 mod, and both of them can't work with each other. But if you do have modded skins on, such as like Knuckles or Metal Sonic, those will work in both of them perfectly fine. And also, just a heads up for modded movesets in this game, you cannot go online. You will be banned if you do. This didn't happen to me, I just know it will happen. And as for the other things you can do on the mod Switch, obviously, like I said, you can get other ROMs for games like Game Boy Advance or the PlayStation 1, which is where JoJo comes from, or Street Fighter. But you can also have themes, not black and white. I don't know why Nintendo did that. You can choose from a bunch of other kinds of themes and some weird fan art ones. But the ones that I mainly see on it are Super Mario Bros., Sonic the Hedgehog, and Persona 5. You can even run the Dolphin emulator, meant for like PCs and computers. But personally, I didn't do that because you gotta boot up through Android. But if you want to do that, there will be a video in the description down below as well. And that's really it. I want to do a lot more stuff this year on my channel, because I recently calibrated a controller onto my MacBook, and I do have a game I do want to play as for like a playthrough series. But if you have any ideas, comment them down below. And as for you modding your Switch, don't be like me, don't fuck up.